In 2026, the only people who are going to be successful and make money are the monumentally impatient who take instant action right away. And whatever they're thinking of doing next week, they do now. You need to panic. You need to get rich now. You need instant action. You need instant results. Impatience is the most important word for 2026. You don't have time to wait. You cannot do it next month. You cannot do it next week. You cannot think, if I dedicate myself and I save money and I keep going to work and I keep doing the commute, in 3 or 4 years, I'm going to get a pay rise that will allow me to buy a house. No! Everything is going to get worse forever. It's going to be nearly impossible to do in 10 years from now. It is nothing but harder. There is nothing but bleakness on the horizon. There are nothing but dark clouds hanging over your future. And for that reason, you need everything done today. You need to become monumentally impatient. You need to act now. If you do it in 2 hours from now, it'll be harder than it is to do now. It is only going to get harder. You need to act instantly. You need knowledge now. You need information you can act on now. You need to start making money now. You do not have time to wait. You cannot rely on some perfect utopian future. You cannot rely on politics to save you. You cannot rely on getting a raise at your job. You cannot rely on saving up and buying a house. You cannot rely on anything besides having information before other people have it, so you can earn more money than everybody else earns, so you can finally escape the debt trap.
Two things can be true at once. It is harder to get rich than it's ever been, and it's also easier to get rich than it's ever been. The reason it's harder is because in the 1980s or 1990s, it was basic consumer capitalism. For you to get rich, you had to sell a product. You'd open a butcher's store, or you'd open a factory that sells teacups, and enough people would buy your product, and before you know it, you'd be rich. Very simple. But in the world we live in today, there are no mom and pop shops, there are no small businesses, because everything has become globalized and monopolized. It's extremely difficult for you to compete with Amazon. It makes it very difficult for you to have a small business. However, it is also easier to become rich than ever before, because now you can grow capital with basically no work. In the 1980s, at the same time, where it was easy for you to open up lots of little stores and make money with consumer capitalism, if I said to you, here's $10 million, grow it, you'd have to really think outside the box of how you're going to do that. Probably you'd have to open up a whole bunch more stores or open a factory. And that means you now need a whole bunch of staff, and you need an HR department, and you have to monitor them, make sure they do their work, and make sure nothing is stolen, etc. Nowadays, if I give you 10 million and said grow it, you know exactly what to do. Even without professional training, even with no research, you simply buy Bitcoin, you buy ETH, or you invest in the stock market and you sit and wait for your money to go up. So it's easy to turn money into more money, but it is very difficult to get money in the first place. And that is why the game is truly unfair, because as a rich person, it is so ridiculously easy to make more and more money. But as a poor person, even you at home watching this understand all you need is 3 or 4 million. If you had 3 or 4 million liquid, you wouldn't have to buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or an Aston Martin. You wouldn't do that. You'd invest it and you'd be rich for life. But how do you get the 3 or 4 million? In this new game we're playing, in many ways, although it's disadvantageous to the people who are poor, I would argue it's a huge opportunity for anybody who's prepared to knuckle down and dedicate themselves and get some money quickly. If you can dedicate 1 year of your life to making and saving as much money as possible, you know exactly how to grow it, and that money will grow for the rest of human time. For you, for your children, for your bloodline, you can grow that money with basically zero work. You don't have to dedicate yourself to opening a whole string of factories or butchers or bakeries. You can simply take that money, park it, and profit from it. The number one thing you should be trying to do right now, every single day, as you wake up, is not waiting for New Year's Eve, not waiting for a New Year's resolution, not waiting for motivation. You should wake up every single day and say, I need to get some money today because I know that money is going to become more money tomorrow.
You are a loser, and you deserve to lose. Your ancestors hate you. I hate you. Everyone hates you. Because it turns out you're actually living in a period of time where it's easier to succeed, and it's better to be a man than it's ever been. You should show some respect to the men who did amazing things, whether they died in a ditch, in some forgotten war, or dug out this entire salt mine by hand to feed their families. And the easiest way to show them some respect is to dedicate yourself and make some money.
If you're broke and you meet a pretty girl somewhere, you have one chance. You have to go up to her, even though your hair is not done and you're dressed like crap, even though you smell from the gym, you have to go up to her and you have to try and get her number, and you have one chance to impress her and make her like you. That's your shot to get a pretty girl. But if you have money, you're around pretty girls all the time.
because you're in Saint-Tropez or Dubai where the pretty girls are. So you get more than one chance at a pretty girl. So you get to try again and again. You can go try with a girl and she can say no, and then you can try with another girl and she can say no, and you can try with the third girl and she can say yes, and everyone will say, wow, how'd you get such a hot girl? It's exactly the same with starting a business. If you're broke, you get one chance. You get a loan and you try that company, and if it doesn't work, you're done. But if you have money, you try that business, doesn't work, try that business, doesn't work, try that business, works a bit, try another business, make hundreds of millions. Money allows you to try again. That's why once you have money, it is so easy to win at anything because you get to play the game more than everyone else. Roll a 6, you get 1 roll, I get 10 rolls. What's the odds I get a 6? Well, they're higher than yours. So that's actually one of the most unfair advantages of money that no one talks about. It's not just that you perform better. People talk about this. People talk about how having money gives you a competitive advantage when you attempt something. True, but they do not talk about the fact that you get more attempts. Forget the competitive advantage. That's compounding. That makes it worse. But when you take that away, it's the fact that even on an even playing field, I get to try more than a poor person does. So how can I fail? How can I lose?
Life's about being a legend. Life's about sticking to your word. God will always reward you in the end if you stick to your word. Sticking to your word and being a man who doesn't snake anybody, stands up for what he believes in, always pays off. Honor, dignity, respect is always the right way. God will never reward you unless you stick to those tenets.
Hope is the universal sauce. Hope is the thing you can apply to anything. If you have hope, you can apply it to the gym, you can apply it to making money, you can apply it from escaping in the cave. You know when you're in the cave and you're stuck and you think you're gonna drown because it started raining outside because you thought it was a good idea to explore the devil's asshole. But if you have hope, all of a sudden you feel better. Hope is the universal sauce. And a lot of people don't have hope anymore. The easiest way to have hope is to be around other people who are achieving the things you want to achieve. When you're around doomers and gloomers, of course you're going to give up. Everyone else is giving up. They're all trying to drag you down as crabs in a bucket. But when you're around hopeful people who say, no matter how bad it gets, I'm still going to win. When you're in a group of hopefuls, you become hopeful. And then not only do you feel better on the journey, not only do you feel better before you reach the destination, but all of a sudden these things like dedication, motivation, that no longer becomes a problem. It's not about dedication and motivation. It's about hope. It's about belief. 2026 will be completely different to 2025. Don't you want to escape the doom and the gloom? The algos are trying to beat you down. They're trying to demotivate you. They're trying to wreck your soul. Get rid of all that. Get in a group of people who are dedicated to winning, who are guaranteed to make it out because they have promised the universe that they are going to win. That is the place to be for 2026. I have hope. I know that it's going to be the best year of my life, and it's down to you to believe the same.
The secret to life is staying positive through the trials and tribulations. The matrix, the simulation, it beats everybody down. You're not alone with how you feel. In fact, everybody feels the same way. Everybody's demotivated. Everybody's sitting there wondering if they can make it out. Everyone's stressed. Everyone's unhappy. And the winners of life are the people who just smile anyway. You need to find that endless positivity. You need to believe. If you don't believe, you don't stand a chance of ever escaping. That's the true test of life. That's how this simulation works. Because the one who keeps trying is the one who deserves to escape. You don't get out unless you deserve to get out. And you don't deserve to get out unless you refuse to quit. We all take losses. It goes wrong for all of us. It's difficult for all of us. But the winners find a way to smile. That's your goal for 2026. Find a way to smile. It's easy to smile when you're around the other people who understand this. That there's no time for blackpilling. There's no time for dooming. We only have a certain amount of seconds alive on the planet. We can't waste any of them sitting there believing it's hopeless. It may be hard. You may have the odds stacked against you, yes. You may be temporarily demoralized, yes. But it's never impossible. It's never too large a task for you to complete. You can do it. And every time you get knocked down, every time it doesn't go your way, that's just the simulation testing your mettle. That's just God and the universe testing if you really deserve the win. Because if you really deserve the win, you get back up and you try again. That's the true test of life. You know, people often say, oh, I feel this way, or it's difficult, or they complain about how hard it is, or their emotions at the time. All of that is absolutely irrelevant. That is just the basic fabric of the universe. The fabric of the universe is the endless demoralization, the endless doom, the black pill. And it is down for you to resist against that, to show God that you're different and that you can't be psyoped into giving up.
Please understand that losing hope is fatal. Hope is a requirement for success. My whole life was built on hope. You do not become a 4-time world champion without it. You must believe you can achieve your dreams. Hope and vision are slightly different. Vision, you can see where you want to end up, but hope is the belief that for sure the vision will come true. You have to see through time, act accordingly, and prepare to told you so that eternally upsets doubters. I'm saying you must believe all of the things you want to have are going to happen. You must see through time with a plan in place so you can see it all come true to be the man you want to be. You can have anything you want. All you have to do is make a plan and see it. And when other people do not see it when they look at you, you bend space-time and change your outward projection, your avatar, so others view you exactly the way you see yourself. It is called belief. The power of belief is real. Words and thoughts have power. Use them. My brother and I used to sit around and talk about what could be if only we managed to get it out. How it would feel to be famous and internationally renowned. How it would feel to be able to fly on private planes. How it would feel to not have to worry about food anymore. We believed in this version of reality where we somehow made it. I'd like to be rich, but Netflix is on and the TV's on. I'm not cold. Everything's fine. So you don't sit and imagine deep in your soul. Not only do you lack fire, you lack imagination. And that's why it's very important. You need to start believing you are the fucking man, even if you're not yet. Poor people imagine. And rich people have duty to their last name, which is instilled in them, so they are born and raised to be winners. Your parents aren't even saying, you need to be rich because your last name is X. They're saying, well, I want you to follow your passion, and I want you to be happy, and you need to go to school, just get a degree and get a mortgage, and as long as you're happy. They are poisoning you. That's why you're fucked. And that's why boxers start poor. They're prepared to do anything it takes. There's no fucking middle-class champions. None. You were born somewhere in the middle, and you're still somewhere in the middle. You haven't elevated on any level. You need to start imagining what actual freedom is. You need to start seeing beyond the confines of your comfort. It's extremely important.
God said a man is as he thinketh. We are how we think.
The mind is like a factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, financial fabric of your life.
You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life.
As you think, so you become.
We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it.
Every day, stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the result.
This is the year you level up. No more repeating the same mistakes. No more waiting for the right time. No more starting over every January with nothing to show for it. This year, excuses end. Comfort ends. Average ends. You've prayed for change. Now it's time to become the answer to that prayer. Leveling up doesn't mean more talk. It means more discipline, more sacrifice, more nights where you choose progress over pleasure. You don't rise by luck, you rise by standards. This is the year you stop negotiating with weakness. The year you stop explaining yourself to people who don't live your vision. The year you outgrow who you used to be. It won't feel good. Growth never does. But it will feel right. God doesn't elevate comfort. He elevates commitment. So if you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of starting over, if you're tired of knowing you were meant for more, stand up, decide, lock in. This is the year you level up, and you don't look back.